Hi everybody, welcome to week 3. So this week for reading, we're going to be focusing on the idea of finding the main idea of a passage. Now, when you go to level 2, you'll be looking at the main idea, the broad idea, and the narrow idea. Which ideas are too big, broad means too big, and which ideas are too narrow, and narrow means too small. But when you're doing level 1, when you're doing the foundation class for these 6 weeks, you just need to focus on the main idea. So this short video is going to explain to you how to find the main idea when you read a passage. Now, even though you don't need to find the broad idea or the narrow idea in foundation class, it is helpful to think about which ideas are just too big and which ideas are too small. If you can take away answers that are too big and you can take away answers that are too small, you should have the main idea left. The main idea should cover everything in the paragraph. Or if you've got a longer passage with 4 or 5 paragraphs, the main idea should be big enough to cover all of the paragraphs. If your idea is just coming from one sentence or from one paragraph, then it cannot be the main idea. So let's look at an example. In Brighter Futures, the students are very different. Some, like Eckley, too, come from military backgrounds and are very careful about what they eat because they want to be strong. Others, like Sia, like to drink a lot and don't mind looking like pregnant ladies. Some students like to eat dog meat and others don't eat any meat. Some students are single, others are playboys and playgirls. Now, the first sentence tells you that you're looking at Brighter Futures students. Later in the passage, you have examples of students. We have Ekletu, and we have Sia. Now, if you look at my diagram down here, if you have an answer that says the main idea is about students, this answer is going to be too broad, too big. This is not talking about students in CBC school or Saturday school. It's not talking about students in Thailand or England or America. It is only talking about students in Brighter Future School. But equally, if you said the main idea was about Ekletu, you would also be wrong, because Ekletu is only in the sentence that starts here and finishes here. None of this before and none of this after is about Ekletu, only this part here. So Ekletu would be too narrow. Now I like to say sometimes, imagine the main idea is like a box. So here's our box. The main idea has to fit inside the box. It cannot be too big and it cannot be too small. So if we said the main idea about this passage was Brighter Future students, then it fits inside the box. If the answer was about all students, then it would be too big, because there would be CDC students, Saturday students, university students, English students, American students. There are so many students in the world that saying the main idea is about students is just too big, because this paragraph is only about Brighter Future School. But if you said the idea was about Ekletu, then your answer would be too small. Ekletu is just one part. Ekletu would be inside the box, but there'd also be Sia in the box. There'd be other students inside the box. So Ekletu is just simply too small. And that's what I mean when we say, if you can find ideas that are too big, you can remove them. And if you can find ideas that are too small, then you can also remove them. So let's have a look at another example. Sotule and No Suong are in love. Whenever they have free time, they call each other or meet each other. They even forget to do their homework because they are busy with each other every night. Sometimes They can be seen coming back from the forest holding hands. But they pretend they do not like each other, because that would break the school rules. Now let's look at 3 answers. So Tule holds hands with No Su Ong. Well, in the passage we do have So Tule and we do have No Su Ong, and it does talk about they, and they. I mean, they means So Tule and So No Su Ong. So that's possible. The second answer, students like to find lovers. Well, like the first passage, students is too big. This paragraph is not talking about all students. It's not talking about even all students at Brighter Futures. This paragraph is just talking about 2 people, So Tule and No Suong. So we cannot say the main idea is about students, because that would include any student. And this passage does not include any student. So this second answer would be too big, too broad. Now, the last answer, So Tule and No Suong love each other and spend time together. Well, the very first paragraph did say that they love each other. And then it says, call each other, busy with each other, coming back, holding hands. So there are many things that they're doing together, talking together on the phone, busy with each other every night, going to the forest together, coming back together. So this idea here, spending time together, is important. Holding hands? Well, holding hands is only in this one sentence. Holding hands only here. There's nothing here about holding hands, and there's nothing here about holding hands. So holding hands is just simply too small. The main idea for this one would be the last answer. This is the main idea because it's talking about the right people and it's telling you what they do. The information in this idea takes the whole of the paragraph. So have a look, go at the quiz. There's one practice question for main, broad, narrow. Have a go at that one, and there's other true and false questions and who, what, where, when questions like before. The answers will be up on Tuesday. Good luck, everybody.